Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Study of X. I am your host, Tim, and with me, as always, is Sergio and Chris. This is a podcast about the Krakoan era of X-Men comics, where we go through that era chronologically. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great. It's been a while since we last recorded. I'm very excited to get back into it.
Yeah, same. So am I. We have some really, really good issues that are kind of all over the place tone-wise, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, we've got a good slate for today.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. We're doing a double dose of Hickman here. That should be fun.
Yeah.
Now that Fallen Angels is over, I don't know if it's actually Fallen Angels ending that signals this, but it feels like the schedule gets a little shaky coming up. New series coming in, and the order that we've been reading things in isn't as solid as it was before.
Yeah, I definitely did notice some kind of weirdness with this set here, with X-Men seeming to taking... this issue of X-Men seems like it takes place after New Mutants.
It does, yes.
Yeah, it's a little funny time-wise, and at the end of this episode, we'll go through what we're going to be reading going forward, because, like Sergio says, it is going to get a little strange. It's not going to be straightforward like it was.
Yep, definitely not.
Yeah, but it's good to mix up things once in a while.
Mm-hmm. And I'm enjoying seeing what they're doing for Krakoa here, so I'm fine with that, getting more new faces, more new stories in here.
Yeah, things sure are going places.
That's one way to put it. So are you two ready to jump into X-Men?
Yeah, I think we should be good to go.
Let's go.
All right. So with X-Men number 7, Life Death, written by Jonathan Hickman and released in February of 2020, we're opening up here back on Krakoa in the Academos habitat, back in the Sextant, which we've still kind of haven't fully figured out. But we see here that Melody Guthrie awakes to find that today is Crucible Day, as her brother and sister, Cannonball and Husk, inform her that today is finally the day.
It's an university campus. I think that's the Sextant's whole deal.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like it's the place where the younger mutants go.
Yeah, it's a university. They have 6 houses.
I don't know who all of these characters are, though. We got some dudes in the background who I have not recognized.
No, and looking up this issue of the comic, they don't really have names. So it's Angel with red wings and some other guy with gray skin and very long hands.
Yeah. If you know who these two are, please send us an email. They don't talk in this issue, I don't think.
Yes, I don't even think they show up again. So I would love to know if they have names, actually.
Yeah, I'm guessing they definitely do if they're just around like this. They might be 2 characters from this Melody's kind of past, which... do you know anything about this character, by the way?
Yes, I went ahead and looked her up. She has not had a lot. She's been a background character for most of her shorts introduction into the comics. She was around at the Xavier Institute for a bit, and she was the sibling that always... No, that was Husk. I was going to say, I always wanted mutant powers, but Husk was the one that had that. She's just part of the big mutant family that Cannonball and Husk are from, and she's been around.
All right,
yeah.
Fair enough.
Nothing noteworthy if you look her up. She's just here.
What if that plant in the background is a third, background character? That's just another mutant.
That's fair. It could be.
It looks too Krakoa-ish, but I could see it.
Yeah, I'm not going to discount the plant from being a mutant. It very well could be.
Yeah, I'm going to say no, but that would be a cool power. Just be a plant.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like a very relaxed life.
So speaking of which, on the moon...
Yes, on the moon, we are back in the summer house as Cyclops and Wolverine have a nice moment in what looks to be plant-based lazy boys as they take in the beautiful sight of Earth and not very subtly flirt at each other.
They're just vibing.
Yeah. I love this line where Wolverine just says, "Can't we just enjoy a quiet moment?" Cyclops says, "I guess," and then just starts talking.
Mm-hmm.
It's good stuff. But yeah, Cyclops invites Wolverine to come on family vacation.
Yep, they're just gonna head over to Chandelure, which is referenced in New Mutants because Cyclops is gonna ask Super Guardian that. But yeah, they're gonna head out, and Wolverine is free to come along because Jean's gonna be in a bikini and Scott's gonna be in a Speedo.
And what more could you want?
And apparently, to Wolverine, not much.
Anyway, things take a little bit of a turn when Cyclops mentions something called Crucible.
Yes, and we're going to learn that is the crux of this entire issue. That Crucible is today. Wolverine says very plainly that he is not going, and even if he didn't agree with it, it's not his choice to make. So whatever is going on here and whatever this event is, it's a divisive one.
It's very funny how everyone just keeps mentioning the Crucible without the audience knowing what it is. It happens like 5 times before we actually learn what it is, which I think is not as effective as Hickman may have expected. But I do like the narrative resource here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very much not talked about. You get the idea that Wolverine disapproves, but it's not really his whole deal. And he tells Cyclops to go get a priest.
Uh-huh. I just find it funny, Cyclops like going around asking people, hey, do you know it's the Crucible today? And then just not elaborating at all.
They're like, yep, you not wrong. I'm going to go and say that to people from now on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, do you know it's Crucible Day? What is that?
Yeah.
It's that day.
Yeah, what do you think about it?
It's a bit rough, but you kind of have to accept it. So it is a tired, I shouldn't say a tired writing trope, but it is one that is used every now and again. I really like it. It's one of those that I'm like, yes, I will eat this up every time it appears. So I thought it was effective, but I can see how it gets tiring because we are going to get more instances of, hey, it's the Crucible. No, we're not telling you what it is yet. Speaking of, Cyclops thinks it's a great idea to go find a priest, so he heads back to Krakoa to look for Nightcrawler. Instead, he runs across Douglas with Krakoa and Warlock sitting next to him. And for a moment, he kind of thinks that's odd, but realizes, maybe he was just saying things.
Yeah, and then we get this bottom panel, and Krakoa has their eyes closed, and Warlock is gone.
It's very suspicious.
Yeah, like, what were they doing?
Yeah, all sitting apart from one another, just chatting, I'm assuming, because they're sitting in chairs, all looking like they're chatting. So...
Yeah, I get the impression they're up to something here, but who's to say?
Yeah, just another one of those things. I've noticed this on a reread. There's these little moments here and there where Douglas does something a little sketchy, and it's never brought up again. Like, there was this moment early on in House of X, I believe, where he's touching some of the leaves of Krakoa, and you can see the Warlock machine effect kind of go into it. That has never been talked about since, and not really brought up.
Or has it?
Or has it, and have we not noticed?
I guess we'll find out. Luckily, it doesn't take Cyclops too long to track Nightcrawler down, just kind of goes up some steps, and he's hanging out up on a cliff.
Mm-hmm. Overlooking a bit of a Krakoan valley where there are a bunch of buildings, actually. So we get our answer that, yes, there are buildings here. But as Nightcrawler is going to explain, some of them just don't have doors or any sort of entrance. And if you try and cut your way in, like Wolverine tried, it regrows itself.
Yeah, this is a pretty panel. Nightcrawler just hanging out here in the Breath of the Wild opening.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild's a good comparison here. It looks like he's about to just, like, Assassin's Creed dive into some hay.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. It's just a really nice overlook of this strange architecture. Feels like the wrong word to use. I don't know how to describe it, what we're looking at here, but...
No, strange is probably fair. This is some weird-looking buildings.
Yeah.
Like it's like the building is described as the tall one, the Fort Towers. Like that's an odd building.
Mm-hmm. And it is the one that Wolverine tried to cut into and failed, but Nightcrawler, thanks to his ability to just teleport anywhere, was able to go inside. And he describes it as beautiful, as if it is a place described or created specifically for him.
Yeah, and like he's a little bit weirded out about this, and you kind of wonder, like, well, if his powers allowed them to enter this, is this actually just for him?
Yeah, if he is so far the only person who can go in there. Which would lead to the other question of, why? It's a very specific thing for the island to make unprompted.
Right.
Maybe it's just a nice gesture.
Yeah, it might be as well, honestly. But for Nightcrawler, he doesn't take it that way. He sees it more unsettling than anything else, and he leads it into a lot of questions that he has about Krakoa, the new government, the land itself, as we're going to be getting into.
Yeah,
yes.
Nightcrawler has some questions.
Yeah. A lot of the crux of this issue will be kind of talking about how this island kind of is in direct kind of confrontation with Nightcrawler's faith, to the point where it just these ideas kind of clash with each other.
Yes, and this is one of the things I always really wanted them to do back when these comics started. I was like, I really hope they have Nightcrawler confront his faith here, because he is Catholic in this, and he's always been very open about his faith and how it leads him and drives him. So now you have a land of immortals. Where does that leave him? And we get some of that here, which I'm super happy about. But before we get there, did you guys know Crucible's today?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going.
Oh, you're
Wait,
not?
Crucible's today?
Yeah, Crucible's today.
Yeah.
It's gonna start soon.
Are you going?
I didn't know Crucible was today.
Yeah.
You must have missed the memo.
What do you think?
Yeah,
What do you think about it?
I got some questions.
Yeah, that's fair.
Are you struggling to sit around and watch a mutant die?
Wait, that's the Crucible?
That's the
Yeah,
Crucible.
so that's our first kind of hint on this Crucible might be kind of gnarly. And
Holy shit.
Then, yeah, like,
Yeah, that as Tim was saying, that is our first hint that this Crucible probably not good? Question mark?
maybe. I guess we'll see later.
Yes, later. We're not at the Crucible yet. Instead, we're over here with Exodus as he is giving a fireside story to a bunch of mutant children. And
See, it's not that they just dance around the fire. They also tell cult-like stories in front of it.
yes. Yeah, we've upgraded just a little bit. But he has a very interesting story here, as he kind of goes into the story of a little bit about the Crucible before he goes into his story. He asks the children, what is happening later? And they respond, the Crucible. And he asks them, okay, what is the Crucible? And one of the kids responds, I think it's where a broken mutant has to die so they can be an unbroken mutant. Is that right? And Exodus says, sort of. You're there, but not quite. And this is where he tells the story of the Pretender, also known as Wanda Maximoff or the Scarlet Witch, and the events of M-Day, where she very famously said, no more mutants, and depowered millions of mutants using her powers.
The kids, by the way, have like a visceral reaction to Exodus bringing up Scarlet Witch. Like they cover their ears and just kind of say the word Pretender. And they don't say her name. Yeah, I don't know if this is quite on the level, but I feel like it does make sense for them to be vilifying Scarlet Witch like this.
The reaction seems a little bit like brainwash, cultish.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. It's something that does, like, I understand why this culture would come to see this character as a villain, but it is a very overreaction here.
Yeah, it kind of reads like these kids have heard this story before, and this is part of the play that they're joining in with Exodus.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just highlights to me how all of these like super traumatized adults are having their way with the children and kind of brainwashing them with their kind of extreme ideology regarding all of the trauma that they have experienced.
Yeah, like these kids don't know Wanda and probably were not affected by her. I mean, they might have been, but most likely not. So, like, this is all just kind of like they are being told this is who you hate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it goes back to what we talked about with Kid Omega and some of the unspoken things that are being said here, where mutant supremacy is what's being pushed.
Yep. But also, yeah, this probably would be a pretty traumatizing event for the mutants.
Absolutely. Especially if you viewed being a mutant as being, a wonderful thing, as Exodus is going to put it. She sentenced 1 million of us to hell on Earth, trapped in a body that was a prison. They had these gifts that they could do, and now suddenly they just can't anymore, and there's no fix to it.
Yeah, like you are. If this was your identity, you had that ripped from you.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, unfortunately, it's never touched on in this issue, and I really wish it was. Wanda is, air quote, Magneto's daughter. It kind of gets changed around a little bit, but they have a very close connection here. So I would really like to know what Magneto thinks of all of this, of his daughter being vilified as this massive villain.
I believe at this point it has been retconned where she isn't Magneto's daughter, but like it's still that is what she believed for a very long time.
Yeah. So, and we get to the end of this story with Exodus, as he explains that because of the five, that means any mutant can be reborn. And that's a wonderful thing. So, the Crucible means that you have to die, but you can't just die any death. And we're left on that cliffhanger for the moment as Nightcrawler and Cyclops continue to walk their way to where the Crucible is being held.
And it turns out it's being held on like Mad Max world.
Yeah,
they,
apparently.
they just kind of got a coliseum going here.
Yeah. Before we get there, there is just a little bit of a fun thing here with Nightcrawler and Cyclops, where Cyclops is like, hey, you're on the council. How did you guys decide Crucible was the solution? And Nightcrawler's like, what, you didn't ask Jean? And he's like, well, no. And Nightcrawler's like, well, okay, what about Emma? And he's like, also no. Probably a smart decision, honestly, considering it's probably better to ask Nightcrawler this question.
Yeah.
And here is where it's a little difficult to explain what's happening in the comic, because you're going to be having Nightcrawler's explanation for the reason of the Crucible, and the Crucible is actually going to be starting. So I'll break it up as best as I can. Essentially, Nightcrawler is going to explain that Krakoa is bringing up a lot of questions and problems that a lot of these mutants have never faced before. They have problems of, different social questions, hierarchy questions, practical questions that are coming up. And for Nightcrawler, a lot of the answers that he finds comes from the soul for him. He's a very moral individual. And for others on the council, they don't really see it that way. For instance, it's the question of those who were depowered during M Day. Many of them are still alive. As we see here, Melody is one of them. She had her powers taken away by the Scarlet Witch, and now where does that leave her? She could, if she wanted to, kill herself and then be resurrected with her powers fixed. But, as certain members of the council are going to point out, that provides a practical problem for the Five, because that is 1 million mutants suddenly in the queue waiting to be resurrected on top of all the other mutants that have been murdered over the years. So they needed a solution to this problem. And that's how they came up with the idea of the Crucible. These mutants can die, but they have to earn their death.
Yeah. So we kind of get an explanation a little bit here for like what exactly the Crucible is, but pretty much it seems like this ritual combat thing where you're fighting someone. It's Apocalypse here. I don't know if he's going to be doing this all the time. And if you die in the Crucible, you fight until you're killed, and once you're killed, you're brought back as a mutant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this almost like ritual resurrection thing.
Yeah, that you have to be able to do and go through instead of just, air quotes, skipping the line.
Yeah.
So, interestingly enough, I do kind of like Nightcrawler's take on this. He explains through a quote that, when I do violence to others, I do violence to the world. And when I do violence to the world, I do violence to myself. Just a roundabout way of saying, if we are killing these mutants, you are actually harming every individual here. This is a scar that is going to continue on just from this event, and it's not going to be an individual one. But as he explains, he was outvoted. Not fully by the practical people who saw the 1 million possible deaths as a huge backlog, but what seems to be by Apocalypse's argument that it should be a philosophical point for them to make, that mutants are better and not everybody should just be given that power back.
Yeah. So apparently this is the first one as well. And Apocalypse and Melody's conversation here, it's a little bit, let's say it's culty. It's a little bit culty.
It's very culty. It's also extremely dramatic, which I love.
Yeah.
Like, I know Apocalypse probably just pulled this out of nowhere and didn't practice it, but I would like to picture him sitting down scribbling some ideas for, like, all right, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say, how the humans hate us and they envy us.
It's definitely, I feel like this is like, this conversation that he's having with her is probably the best example you can point to when you're saying that this might be kind of some mutant supremacy stuff. Because he is talking down to her like she should be absolutely ashamed of what she is currently.
Yeah, and
like,
it's rough.
He asks what her name is. She gives the name Arrow, which I'm guessing is her mutant name. And he's like, no, you aren't. You're a human.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then ask her real name. She gives, her first and last name, and he comments on what a embarrassment or disappointment to her family she must be, because that's a good mutant family there.
Yeah, just doing everything he can to drive the knife in of an already horrible event for her to lose her powers. And, we get a good shot of Cannonball and Husk. He's ready to go knock some sense into Apocalypse, which I do not blame him. But his sister is seeing where this is going and is like, no, you're going to have to chill. If we want Melody to do this and she wants to do this, she's going to have to go through it.
Yeah, and I want to kind of draw attention to a line Melody says here of to fight and die for my people like a mutant. And it's interesting that like fighting and dying is now rooted into like the identity of a mutant.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. There's an interesting thing because there's part of me that can look at this objectively and be like, okay, yeah, this is mutant supremacy. This is going to lead to a problem and is going to just cause fanaticism. But there's also the other part of me that's like, it makes sense. We just went through House and Powers of X, where every single time the mutants try and do something, they just get obliterated by either humans or robots or themselves. It is the nature of mutants to die, essentially. They don't win in any timeline, like Moira says, and this is their one shot at doing so. So if this is what brings them together, Apocalypse is technically not wrong.
I mean, this feels like completely in line with Apocalypse's feelings about what mutants should be anyway. Like, I can imagine the council session where they are going like, okay, who's going to do this? And then they at some point decide that they want this to be some kind of ritual, very very culturally ingrained thing, and I feel like everyone will turn to see Apocalypse at that point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This feels like completely in line with his deal. He's like not having to rehearse this, because this is like stuff he talks about.
Oh
every
yeah,
day.
this is just Apocalypse. Like, yeah, like this is very in his wheelhouse. The survival of the fittest stuff. Like, of course, this would be his thing.
Yeah, this is like the effort required to die fighting instead of like kneeling to someone or surrendering. This is like fight to the last breath, and that's how you earn the right to become a mutant again.
Yeah. It is interesting, though, because she is on the sextant when she wakes up, which I feel like implies that you are still allowed to be here if you were a mutant and you were depowered. Like, you are still a mutant, but to get your actual powers back, you have to do this.
Yeah, which is a good point, actually. So, that does imply that mutants who did have their powers can come here. I wonder then if there are mutants like Apocalypse around who would see these depowered mutants and, like, scoff at them. Like, ugh, you're basically human at this point.
Well, like, possibly, but also, like, I don't know. Can you kill them all, Apocalypse, if this is your way to get that done?
That's true. That is, at the very least, 1 million mutants you have to do this for.
Who decides who gets to go into Crucible? Is there, like, a wait list?
Yeah, I'm gonna submit my application through Post to be in the Crucible.
Yeah.
Do either of you know how long it has been since the Scarlet Witch stuff happened? Like, are all of those million mutants in Krakow, are they all even alive?
No, some of them are dead, because part of the side effect of them being depowered is they suddenly couldn't defend themselves, and so a lot of them were murdered. Time-wise, I'm not 100% sure how long it's been. It's been a couple of years, at the very least.
Yeah, I believe it's probably been about, like, over a decade in real time since that storyline happened. But I don't know what that is in Marvel time.
Okay, so definitely, like, not enough time for everyone to have died out, for, like, the majority of them to have died out.
Right.
So we can assume at least half of them are still alive and probably hanging around waiting on the waiting list, like you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at the very least, we have a couple 100,000 of people, which is a lot.
Yeah, maybe this being the first one, it's like this big event, and then they're gonna have like batches of people just throwing themselves at Apocalypse, getting swatted like 5 at a time.
You think they're gonna have like other people aside from Apocalypse? Like how budget do you think they could go for some of these?
I mean, I feel like this is something you'd have to sign up for. Be like, hey, do you want to be the ritual killer?
Yeah.
That would be the most effective way to do it. I don't know if that's the way they're going to do it, but that would be the smart one.
I want Beak to be my ritual killer. Have those twins do it.
Oh, that would be messed up, actually. That would be a rough one.
But anyway, the battle continues. The battle rages.
Yeah, the battle rages. And honestly, there's a really good shot here of Melody small with a relatively small sword, and here's Apocalypse towering over her with a broadsword in his hand. Like, this is not a fair fight. Even with her powers, I don't think it would be a fair fight. She is going into this knowing it is a slaughter.
Oh, I like the fork end of the sword.
Yes, yeah. That is cool.
Nightcrawler makes a mention here about just souls in general and asking, like, do the souls, like, hang around, or do they, like, go back to the mortal vessel when they're reborn? Like, how do souls work here?
Mm-hmm.
Like, who's to say?
Yeah.
Not Nightcrawler, he just has questions.
Especially because the, like, Cerebral Repository is kind of like just a digital archive. So, yeah, good point.
Yeah. And in this world of Marvel where souls are a physical thing, that exist, he's got a good point, even from his religious point of view here. Like, are they the same? Are you? Are you? Or am I me? I do like where Cyclops is like, man, I don't know. I've been doing this for so long. I don't question it.
Yeah, he's like, I'm happy right now. I'm cool. And Nightcrawler's like, yeah, but like, it's weird, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he's not wrong. It is weird.
Yeah, it's just Scott's probably not the person to really ask these questions to if you're looking for answers, because he's just like, I don't know.
Which I assume Nightcrawler knows.
Yes. Yeah, I think he's just doing this so he can finally air his grievances and kind of have like a sounding board to go off of.
Yeah. And the other...
Go ahead.
Yeah, the other thing that's kind of brought up here is what good is the concept of eternity if they could just keep doing this forever? If we can just build paradise here and we're immortal now.
Yeah, and I think, being raised in a religious household, that is probably one of the more interesting questions that he has posed here, because he's right, If they can live forever, then, heaven as a concept really doesn't mean a lot to them anymore. They're not going to die and go to it. They're always just going to die and come back here. So they can make Krakoa heaven if they really wanted to. But how do you do that? What does that mean? What does that look like? These are all questions that he has and he brings up. And he's like, I don't have those answers. I'm probably going to look for them, but I don't have them. One of them that he brings up is he asks Cyclops if he's heard about the wills. And he agrees that it's going to be a problem. And again, we get that writing trope of, let's bring up something and not explain what it is right away. Because we're going to cut back to the fight between Apocalypse and Melody here. Apocalypse is winning. I don't know if that's surprising or not, but he is beating the shit out of this poor girl. And for a moment, he says, we can stop here. You don't have to die. You can live like this, like a human. It is an existence of some kind. But it's your choice. And instead, she gets up and she keeps going.
Yep. We kind of go back to the wills talk a little bit, where we kind of figure out exactly what that is. And I don't know if they ever even specifically say it, but I feel like the implication here is it's when people are dying, they're leaving wills about, like, this is how I want to be reborn.
Yeah, that seems to be the implication of it. That, some mutants are asking, like, hey, when I die, can you bring me back 10 years younger? Can you bring me back looking like this? And you could logically continue that of people asking, like, hey, the perfect version of myself would be me with Magneto's powers, or me with Beast's body, or something else. How are you going to clamp down on that? How are they going to react to that?
Yeah, that's surprising to me, because I thought that was outside of Cerebro's or this whole scheme's scope in terms of like bringing people back with like customizable attributes beyond stuff like age, for example. I think it would be interesting to like lock the snapshots that you take and save in the repository to the age at which they were taken. So there would be some sort of counterweight to just having infinite snapshots made of you and just keeping the latest version, because then maybe you would like to lose some memories in exchange for like a younger body. But if you can go wild in terms of like again customization, there's really a lot you can do.
Yeah, you could just get basically an entirely new body if you were just hard customize it.
Yeah,
they go so far as to discuss like having combined power sets, which is kind of what we saw in the like far future versions of the X-Men in Powers of X.
Right.
Which is funny. I think it's funny how we now have not only this one, but several angles of how we could get to that future, even if that's one of the like removed ones from Moira's existence.
And kind of what I took from this also is not necessarily that that's something they can do, but maybe what I kind of imagined is that wasn't really the parameters and the limitations of this wasn't really explained. to people, so they're just kind of like, yeah, bring me back in Magneto's body.
Yeah, there's that as well. And realistically, considering the combination of the Five's powers is kind of magic in a way, technically they should be able to do all of this. All they're doing is building a body. That would be you, and that body has the powers, and then Cerebro is putting all of your memories back in. So you should be able to redesign the husk however you wanted it to.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Apocalypse punches Melody a lot.
Yeah, like a lot.
She's hurt pretty bad. Apocalypse asks her if she's gonna die on her knees. She puts up her fist. Gets stabbed.
Yeah.
Accept this gift.
There's gray long fingers man here again.
Yes, I just saw him again. So he's here twice.
He's holding Cannonball bag. I'm guessing they're just sitting there with him. Like I have to assume this is her friends. These are her friends.
Yeah, I would assume so as well. But yeah, now I'm really curious if you name. So if anybody knows their name, please let us know.
But yeah, so she dies, and our next, wait a minute. Oh, okay. Fingers guy is named Skin. I don't know about Angel guy yet.
Okay, learned something.
I don't know why this name came to me like that, but I looked it up, and I'm like, oh yeah, that is him. But yeah, I don't know who the other guy is.
Your secret knowledge was unlocked.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know why I kept thinking about that name, but I don't know where I've seen him before. Anyway, but yeah, Melody's back. Krakoa was waiting for her, and we get this very nice looking panel with like the sun cutting through the trees as like the light shines on her as she's back in front of the crowd and doing some ceremony stuff.
Yep, it is the same ceremonial event that happened when the mutant heroes were brought back after they all died out in space. Storm is there, everybody is there, all the folks are watching her as she stands there. And again, Nightcrawler is asking, how do you describe something like this? You know, is it miraculous, is it incredible, or is it wrong? And he doesn't have the answer. But we do see as Arrow here has a nice moment with Apocalypse as she thanks him. And he's like, well, no, I didn't do anything. You did this all yourself.
Yeah, and she floats up into the sky, looking very angelic.
Yep, showing off her powers, which for her is the power of flight.
Yeah, and I don't know, she looks happy. And then we get the last line of this comic. I think I need to start a mutant religion.
You know what, Nightcrawler? You go for it. Live your best life.
Which is really the crux of this whole issue, right? I feel like it wasn't until this line that I realized where Nightcrawler was at emotionally, which is to say, I do not think he has no answers to these questions. I feel like he already does, but he's too scared to act against the council. And what he's really looking for is a platform from which he can like communicate these misgivings he has about the way the council is acting. There is a lot about, hey, maybe we should stop to think about the implications of not properly communicating what the resurrection process is like or is supposed to be like. And there is a lot we're not thinking about in terms of, again, our purpose in the face of potentially eternal life. And I think he has answers to those questions, but I don't think he feels he's in a place where he can really talk about them or has any leverage, especially after losing that vote to the council. And, creating a religion is exactly what would give him some leverage and power to oppose, if not outright oppose, then at least put these thoughts front of mind in some of the almost dictatorial council, affairs. And I think it's also funny that he mentions maybe we need a mutant religion when we already saw one in this issue. Like the whole scene with the kids and the whoever that guy is, whose name I don't remember.
Oh, Exodus.
Exodus.
Again, Exodus, yeah, talking about Scarlet Witch and all of that. That really hints towards, if not an outright religion, then a very incipient, like,
like a
ingrained
cultural
culture.
yeah, like a cultural touchstone almost.
Yeah, like she...
one that feels mystical,
Yes.
right? One that feels like it comes from a very ethereal space in terms of like beliefs and having a common enemy that is, I presume already gone, or at least not an imminent threat, but is treated as, again, this is important to our cultural identity. So I don't think this is we need a mutant religion, but we need a mutant religion with me at its head asking questions so that we can have some leverage against the council.
Yeah, it's definitely, I do kind of get the vibe from this that Nightcrawler does have, like, he's hinting at stuff and, like, getting at things where it almost feels like he's kind of afraid to take that last step in his thinking process or just thought process. Like, he's close, but it's just not quite there yet.
Yeah, he's like, fundamentally, I think he's just scared. And
yeah, I would agree with that.
His conversation with Cyclops pushed him towards thinking, yeah, maybe I can get through to people. Because I feel like Cyclops, I side with him most of the time in this conversation, especially about like whether the soul remains to inhabit the husks that are revived or whatever. Cyclops replies with something like, hey, I'm living my best possible life, I don't really care. And yeah, materially, from his perspective, yeah, maybe the Cyclops that died in the previous iteration is dead. And that line of thought ended when that cerebral activity thread finished. But materially, he's, regardless of whether he's that same person spiritually or not, he's having a great time.
Yeah,
exactly.
But even with those responses, like, Cyclops is still given some food for thought by the end of the issue, and that, I think, encourages Nightcrawler as as to go, yeah, maybe this is what I have to do to gain some leverage. Maybe we need, maybe we don't need to separate state and religion.
So, maybe merge the two or something.
Yeah.
So, no, I think you nailed it completely there, Sergio. I agree. I think he has the answers, but he's too scared to do it. I almost think the way he wants to do this isn't to, necessarily oppose the council. I think it's to oppose their ideas. And he wants to try and do this to get the community behind him, behind this maybe more unified philosophical idea that he has in mind, instead of just letting the council decide all of it. Have some sort of equality there.
I also think it's not quite that he's afraid to say them or the answers he has, but he's almost afraid to let himself go there.
Yeah, I could see that as well, but I'm wondering if that mostly comes from you and I knowing the character a bit more,
Yeah.
Maybe. I do read some resentment from the way he describes how the council decided on what the Crucible was going to be and how it was going to work.
It definitely did feel like that. It was him. He was very disapproving of the idea. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, which, considering how he describes his own background as being from the soul, hey man, I get it. If I was in his spot and they were like, yeah, let's make this about ritualistic murder, I would also resent the people who I would be friends with, for years and years and years, being like, okay, yeah, this is the solution we're going to go for.
Yeah. And it's in direct opposition to what he grew up in and what he knows. Like, Nightcrawler's a good dude. He doesn't want to kill people. So, like, this whole thing probably just seems very wrong to him on that level.
Yeah, if you showed him any issue of X-Force, he would have a heart attack. He would be horrified about what's going on over there.
Well, yeah, I don't think he would approve. I think Nightcrawler has seen some stuff enough at this point of his life, though. Meanwhile, do we want to go to Marauders? Or do we have anything else we want to talk about here?
What, do you think 50 minutes of talking about X-Men is enough?
Honestly, I could keep talking about this issue of the X-Men. I love this issue.
Yeah, it's a meaty issue, too. This was, I didn't realize this was one of the longer ones.
Yeah. Thankfully, I don't feel like Marauders and New Mutants are that meaty. This was really, like, a very heavy topic to talk about for the X-Men.
We'll see when we get to New Mutants, yeah.
Okay. All right, then since we're good to go, I'm going to jump over to Marauders. We have Marauders number 7 from Emma with Love, written by Gary Duggan and released also in February of 2020. We are reopening with some of our favorite data pages again. This one, not as much fun because it's not from the X-Desk, or not directly from the X-Desk, I should say, because it is an anonymous tip from somebody telling Kate Pryde that Verendi has bought off a bunch of their drugs and poison and is likely going to cause an event.
Was this, I know she mentioned, or the X-Dex person mentioned in the last data page that she was going to try to contact Krakow about the stuff they found. Was this in relation to that, do we think?
I want to say yes.
Yeah, totally.
Like,
Yeah.
Is this that text?
Is this is the guy. This is the person.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is them probably taking their own initiative because whoever's above the X-Desk probably was never going to do it, so they did it themselves.
Yep. I hope Kate got that text before she died. I don't know if she did.
I don't think so because there is a little red question mark icon, which kind of reminds me of, hey, your message didn't go through.
Oh, I thought that was supposed to be like the sender.
Oh, also
coming
possible.
up as a question mark.
Yeah, also possible.
Yeah, because I believe that usually has like initial or something, just being like, oh, this is Bishop or whatever. So yeah, it might just be like this is an anonymous person.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the odds of it reaching her are low nonetheless.
Yeah, she's
currently in the ocean.
Yeah, she's just trying to get her head above water at the moment.
Oof.
She's under a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Shame on you two. Shame on both of you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just been struggling a lot recently. Been just feeling like I'm drowning.
I'm just gonna keep moving on. We're back at the White Palace. We're back here at not long ago, as we have a new face showing up. This is Callisto. She is a mutant. She was a former Morlock that we're gonna get into. But she is here to see Emma. And at first she thinks something is wrong, until she finds out that Emma and Jumbo Carnation, now getting a face to the name, are trying to design new outfits.
Yeah. So I'll get into Callisto a little bit. I actually do know this character.
Good.
This is the former leader of the Morlocks. Might be again. I don't know. But yes, the Morlocks were a group of mutants that were typically... They were mutants that were less on the good-looking side that took to living in the New York sewers. She lost control of the Morlocks to Storm when Storm beat her in combat. The two ended up forming a pretty healthy respect for each other.
Mm-hmm. As one does. And again, adding more points to Storm is amazing.
Yeah. And we'll get to that in a little bit as well. But yeah, that's kind of Callisto's whole deal. Usually is on the X-Men side of stuff, but is definitely not an X-Men.
Yeah, she
might have been at some point, but I don't know.
No, I don't think so. Looking her up, she has not been officially as part of the X-Men. She's worked with them a lot, but never as one of them.
Yeah.
But something interesting, or I don't know. Interesting is the best way I could put it. She was first introduced in Uncanny X-Men in 1983. Her mutant powers are that her senses are enhanced. So she has better sight, smell, hearing, etc., 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 and better reflexes. And the whole reason she joined the Morlocks is because she used to have a modeling career because she was very beautiful. But she got attacked by a mutant that's actually going to show up later. And her face was, quote, hideously deformed, and that is why she quit modeling and joined the Morlocks. And here, her face is supposed to still be somewhat hideous. I don't agree. All she has is like a few scars and an eye patch on. She does not come across as too horrific to live on the surface and decides to live in the sewers. But I feel like that is just an 80s thing that, has still carried over.
Yeah, I definitely don't know if horrific is any kind of word I would use to describe Callisto, but yeah, that's fair. She was attacked by Mask, huh?
Yes, she was.
That's really weird. Mask was also a Morlock. I wonder how they got over that, although that dude is kind of an asshole.
Yeah, and I'll bring that up when we meet him, when he comes up, because he's had a weird history, too.
Yeah, he's done some not so great things. But yeah, let's move on.
Yeah, moving on. Emma here in pretty much just lingerie is describing to Callisto that she would like her to be the White Knight of the Hellfire Trading Company. And Jumbo Carnation here can make her outfit.
Yeah. We also get a mention here of something called a Hellfire Gala. I'm guessing that goes nowhere.
No, probably not. Probably not. We're never going to hear that term ever again.
No.
But Sergio, I do have to ask, because you were asking about Jumbo Carnation at one point. Has he lived up to your expectations?
Oh, I love them. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they are great. A four-armed fashion designer who's very, very into his job.
Yeah, they were revived recently, right? That's one of the things that his appearance mentioned.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's back now.
Yeah, that was one of the earliest X-Desk data pages.
Being brought back by or through Emma's influence, just to be her personal tailor.
Emma wanted a tailor, so Jumbo gets to come back to life.
Must be nice to know people.
I'm sure Nightcrawler had some questions about that.
Probably.
If he knows about it.
Yeah. Emma comments about how a new day has dawned, their reign must be over. Callisto's just like, humans aren't that bad, and she is like, no, I'm talking about men, and just hashtag girl boss there.
Mm-hmm. She's going real hard on the girl boss thing throughout this entire run. Yeah. Not gonna lie though, there's part of me that really likes it. It's fun.
Yeah, I agree. Callisto chops the sleeves off her jacket, makes it look cooler.
Mm-hmm. And Jumbo's super into it. He agrees it looks so much better. And because of that, Callisto gives him a knife, which the way he's holding it makes me think he has never actually fought anyone before, so I don't know how helpful that's going to be.
He's very happy about this gift, and yeah, man, good for you. But yeah, back on Island M, I guess Callisto's here to welcome everyone after they escape the island.
Mm-hmm.
Or got done dealing with the Madripoor stuff.
Yes, and I'm not going to mess up the names again. Iceman comes over to talk to Christian about asking if he has decided on his mutant name. He hasn't, but they still have a nice kiss anyway. Which, again, I will point out that there's been a few instances of this so far, but the very open LGBTQ+ representation in these comics is a really, really nice touch and something I really, really like. Having read other comics, there's some things here and there, but I feel like X-Men is the one that more openly embraces that.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool touch.
And Callisto here is asking, why everybody's late. And Bishop learns that Kate hasn't arrived yet, which is a little odd considering she should have been here first. But forget all about that, because Callisto's going to throw a knife right at Storm, who catches it, and the two hug it out.
Yeah, it's she threw one of Storm's secondary mutant powers at her, a knife.
Yep. My favorite secondary mutation that she has.
I want to kind of bringing it back to the last page a little bit. I just kind of want to shout out this first panel of Callisto whipping out the knife when she's talking to Bishop. She does the little switchblade thing, and it's just cool looking. I like how it's depicted. It's very casual.
You can easily, mentally picture it and how it looks if this was like animated.
Yeah. Pyro makes a knock here about how they're just throwing knives at each other. How are we? I don't know how the Brotherhood ever thought they were gonna win. Which again, just it's funny.
Just a nice little joke, little in joke there. But Bishop wants Pyro to take the Marauder and sail for Krakoa because he's going to head to Madripoor, which the kids back at Verendi are using this to sell that, hey, look, you just got this first-hand information, my friend, and now you can take this back to Russia if you want to.
I hate these kids. Have I mentioned that I hate these kids?
I think you have once or twice.
Look at these dumb glasses.
They're really dumb. But hey, look, they're matching. It's white glasses and a white suit, and the other guy has black glasses and a black suit.
Yeah, neither of them knows how to wear them.
No, it's true. They're way too far down.
They're very low on the nose, so they're doing that thing where their eyes are just kind of like above the glasses. I don't know. It's just the most like little shit look that you could imagine. Like, these kids have punchable faces.
Oh, 100%. And when the same kid does the fake little hand sign for Verendi at the end.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh, I hate it.
Yeah, so let's talk about that for a little bit, because I want to talk about this cat in this next panel too, or this next page too. But we go on to the next page, and they're watching this, they're gathering information. We see them in a meeting with the Russian ambassador, and apparently they are going to they want to trade some of this information for the power dampener stuff they have in Russia, and they're talking about how that was first generation. They're gonna have some second generation. Anyway, I think the important part about this is during this one girl, I forgot her name, but the girl in the Verendi club is petting a cat, and this poor cat.
Yeah. this poor cat, his eyes are going two opposite directions. He's missing some whiskers on one side of his face. I don't think he's doing okay.
Yeah. But yeah, the Russian ambassador says she's going to be in touch, and Verendi man says Verendi, and does a little hand sign. Do you want to describe this, Sergio?
God, it feels very uncomfortable to do.
It does.
Yeah, I cannot make my hand do it.
I have been trying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
especially because you have to like do a claw with your like thumb and index finger, and then do like a peace sign with the next two fingers.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, but when you try to do it, like it goes like a claw instead of like open, like it's in the panel. It's not comfortable.
It's very not. So like it's the thumb over the index finger, like you're flicking, and then like the middle and the ring finger up like a V, and the pinky fingers down without the thumb under it. And I don't know how you get your hand to do that.
Well, first you have to be a billionaire and also a human supremacist, and then you'll be able to do that.
Maybe that's why he's doing it's so hard. He's trained so hard that he just has to do it constantly to justify the effort.
Exactly.
Verendi.
He probably stood there trying to find like a cool hand symbol that he could do. It's something that kids would come up with.
Yeah.
I hate these kids, but I love them too because they're designed to be hated. So it's a good job.
Just punch them in the face, which Bishop will do in a little bit, actually.
Thankfully. Thankfully. But yeah, no, Bishop is back here in Madripoor. He knows the gate is being watched, so instead he just sticks his hand through, throws a little grenade, waits a few seconds, and then heads through the gate now that everybody's disoriented or knocked out.
Yeah, I would personally worry if that was going to kill some people, but it works and it looks cool, so whatever. He does an action roll through the gate.
Dude, hell yeah. Yep, a sick action roll as he is describing, like, hey, do you think we're stupid? We knew you would be here.
Yeah. Manuel charges him with a knife. I don't know why he thought this was going to go well. Points out that they can't kill a mutant Bishop is surprised he knows this. Did they just like mention that on the boat ride? Like, oh yeah, our law of kill no mutant, kill no man. I mean,
I guess it must have come up at some point while they were watching.
yeah. Anyway, Bishop headbutts him in the face and takes some information about a boat.
Yep, they have apparently hired a salvage company to recover a ship, which, a little sketchy. So, now that he has a name, Bishop disguises himself and heads aboard the ship just to figure out what's going on. Because he's not entirely sure what's happening, he just has the vibe that something is wrong.
Yeah, and he would be right, so
This is
good call
very
there.
true. But instead of that, we are here in Rio Verde in Arizona, as Callisto walks through a Krakoan gate and begins to talk to Mask, who is having a pretty good game of golf. Mask here is another Morlock, and his power is that he can change a person's physical appearance just by touch, but he cannot fix his own, which doesn't really work for him because he looks like a Scooby-Doo villain.
Yeah, and by like he's done some messed up stuff with this. I think he's changed someone's face so where they couldn't breathe.
Yeah, he's kind of gone the horrifying route with it, you know? Hey, let's take away your mouth. Now you can't eat anymore.
Yeah.
You know, he has done this to Callisto before. He's done it to other mainline mutants before. He's generally, like Tim said, an asshole.
Yeah, he's not always a villain, but he's definitely the Morlock that does feel like he's like erred on the side of that more. Anyway, so our conversation here is apparently the Morlocks are just living in Arizona.
Yeah, and Krakoa is just giving them a stipend, apparently. Which, congrats?
Yeah. Callisto doesn't know how golf works.
Nope. It was close to a touchdown, though.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, just some back and forth banter of her trying to figure out if this is right, Mask making fun of her for joining them. But we have a really fun bit at the end here where Mask asks if she feels offense that Kitty is calling herself a marauder. And Callisto's like, well, no. She needed a name, and she blurted out the one that really hurt her, so she can have it.
Yeah.
And just for some context for that one, is the Morlocks, when they were living underground in the sewers in New York, were initially massacred by the original Marauders that were made by Sinister. So that is calling yourself the Marauders is basically a boogeyman to any Morlock.
Yeah, and I don't know if we mentioned this when we kind of first talked about the history of the name, but during that battle, Kate and a couple of other mutants, I believe Nightcrawler and Colossus, got severely injured to the point where they almost died and were like out of commission for like probably over a year in like comic time.
Yeah.
Or, real life time. So, yeah, this was something that hurt all of them.
Yeah, so for her to take the name and kind of try and reinvent it, an interesting choice.
Yeah. Meanwhile, a data page about Arizona.
I would like to believe that this is just normal Arizona of people posting on their neighborhood watch, forums about like, man, why are people so weird out here? That might just be Arizona. I'm not sure. I've never been there.
Yeah. I do like the X-Desk just trying to figure out what the heck is going on. Why are they doing stuff in Arizona?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They have some very strong socialist programs and possibly a retiree community.
Question mark?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Something I wanted to mention from like a couple pages back is I like how we have this shorthand for figuring out what I should think about characters, which is whether they call her Kate or Kitty. And, maybe I can give them the benefit of the doubt and assume that they haven't heard about her preferred name, but I am going to choose to believe that they heard it at some point and disregarded it if they're still calling her Kitty.
Yeah, I think with Mask, he definitely feels far enough away where he probably didn't know it. But yeah, I do think people calling her Kitty is supposed to kind of be like, this is someone disrespecting her.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I feel like it's a very effective shorthand.
Yeah.
Gives me a very good clue about how I should feel about each character, which I think is just good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very quick way to get a look at them.
They either have not talked to her in a while or are being terrible. But yeah, so we go to the council where we are deadlocked on a vote because Kate's not there for
reasons.
Pretty good reasons. And Sinister decided he didn't know what to vote, or he didn't need to vote for this. Whatever this is, we don't know.
Yeah, it's unimportant to the story, whatever this vote is. But I like Sinister's like shrug, like, what do you mean this is a bad thing?
Yeah. So Sebastian's looking real smug, and we go to Madripoor Bay where some people fish up a dragon. Poor Lockheed.
Rest in peace, clearly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and that is how we are ending Marauders, with Sebastian gloating and having the time of his life. Lockheed, dead or not, unclear. He's at least been fished up. And Bishop is currently on the lead, and we'll see what he finds out next time.
Yeah, I like this issue. It definitely feels more transitional.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it, is transitional. I'm kind of indifferent about Callisto at the moment. I don't like her, I don't hate her. She's just kind of there for me. I'm more interested to see where this leads with Kate than anything else. So we'll see where that goes. The most interesting thing that Callisto did was throw a knife at Storm. So
what do you think about this issue, Sergio?
I thought it was okay. I'm also not sure about Callisto. I don't feel like we got a real feel for her yet. Which feels unfair because there's a lot of things that are kind of taking over in terms of attention in this issue. Obviously, what happened with Kate being the first one, and Bishop's efforts to maybe figure it out at some point. But I thought it was a competent issue. Things are moving. I'm hoping everyone's aware of what happened sooner rather than later instead of dragging it out. But pretty competent. I liked it. I don't know how to feel about Emma in this issue. Like her first appearance kind of brought me back a little bit to the thing I was complaining about when she was pitching the position to Kate at the very beginning of the series, where it felt like she was more of like an HR person than a cool mutant. But yeah, I liked it. It was good enough.
Yeah, I definitely got that vibe about Emma as well in this issue. Like, it felt almost... It felt very similar to that first issue, and not in the best way.
Yeah, she was about to go into a spiel about the dental plan or something.
I imagine they have a very good dental plan in Krakoa. It's probably goo-based, which, hit or miss.
If it gets me to save on dental care, that's a win.
That's true. I'm
how expensive dental care is.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Too much money. It should really just be like grouped with the rest of that stuff. But whatever.
It should
I guess,
be. But hey, you can catch us on our healthcare podcast as we talk about the woes of healthcare.
The teeth are not a separate part of your body. They're still okay.
That is the title of the podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
That whole thing.
Yeah, that's just the name of it. Anyway, so do you want to talk about New Mutants?
I do want to talk about New Mutants because we're having Hickman at his finest and funniest, and I'm super here for it. So here for New Mutants number 7, titled Spoilers. It is written by Jonathan Hickman and released in February of 2020. And we're opening up back into a recap by our friend Sunspots. Because...
Okay. Can we talk about the cover real quick?
Yes, we can.
Specifically, who is on the cover?
Who is specifically?
It's our boy.
Oh, the lawyer?
It's our boy.
Our boy.
Yep.
Yes.
The space lawyer. It's just here in the crowd. It's good
Even
stuff.
has a
I'm
little
glad he's
thumbs
here.
up.
Yeah.
He's just happy to be here. He's just a little guy.
Yeah.
He's just a little
He's
guy.
a good dude. Good dude.
A shame he's the worst space lawyer money can buy, but
He's great. That was slander, and that judge should be tried.
Okay. Maybe we're going a little too far there, but okay.
Anyway, let's go on to the rest of the issue. What's going on with this recap?
Yeah. So for this week recap, we all remember how Ileana saved Chamber and Mondo from space. Sunspot, Cypher, Izzy, Cannonball, and Deathbird were being trapped on the ship. And Sunspot, the hero that he is, threw himself in harm's way to save Deathbird and allowed her to escape. The mutants then got tortured, which, not great. But Deathbird returns and kills the remaining commandos, setting everybody free. And then Deathbird and Roberto kiss, she punches him, and then they kiss again. At least that's Sunspot's telling of the entire story.
Yeah. And they steal the Death Commando ship, and wait a minute. We haven't read that.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't read any of this.
This is what is happening. Did we skip an issue?
And as it is going to be explained to us by Mirage, yes, we did skip an issue. Because according to Sunspot, this entire run of New Mutants has just been about him. Not the other story that we were talking about. So, of course, we knew what happened last time, because that's all we read.
Love to demolish the fourth wall.
Yeah, this is funny.
Just absolutely left in tatters.
Yeah.
Yes, destroyed, and they don't even pick it up either. It's like, well, there's your recap. We're just gonna keep going. So, and I gotta say, fourth wall breaks, there's a very fine line between really good ones and really bad ones. This one falls into the really good one for me. I think it's fun because Roberto is just really fun when he describes things he's done. He's just, I don't know. I've really come around on him. He's very charming.
Torturers are genuinely emotionally fragile babies who need validation that their work matters. Made me actually laugh.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good line. A lot of these are good lines. It's very witty. It's very charming. We've talked about Sunspot's dialogue before, but yeah, it's good here. In his little argument with Mirage, where they're just shattering the fourth wall, he uses the term "woman-splain," which,
like, he's such an asshole, and I love him.
He's alright.
But yeah, we get a recap of an issue that does not exist, and we get told how that entire saga essentially ends. And we're just thrown right back into it after that entire thing happens, as we are back on Chandelar, and we get to see the fallout here. Xandra is a little worried because they're late in returning, but, you know, maybe don't worry too much because Deathbird is with them.
Yeah. She's a bird of prey. So yeah, apparently 4 cycles later, however long that time is, they finally get there. Apparently they have just now discovered Sega, the gas being that's a coward, in a ball.
Hey now, I think that's a little mean. It is the living ball of death gas, thank you very much, not a living ball of gas that's a coward.
I think it was described on the data page in the last issue that Sega's a coward.
I think so as well, but I feel like the death gas is very important.
Yeah, Wolfsbane turns into wolf form and licks the ball, who Sega says they're a lethal ball of gas. Wolfsbane is bored and leaves.
Yep. Nothing else there, just kind of runs off.
Yeah, Karma and Cypher are doing like a good cop, bad cop thing. Cypher says he can turn up the pressure of the ball and turn him into a solid. Sega is not happy about this. Their cooperation that on.
Yeah, although I do want to say the escalation that Doug goes to for this to explain what he's doing is really funny. Because, you know, Sega's like, okay, I see it. You're being mean. One of you's being nice. Whatever. I really don't care. And Doug comes into like, well, I can turn up the pressure and you'll go from a gas to a liquid. And then if I really wanted to, I can make you a solid. And Sega loses it. It's really, there's multiple exclamation points here. telling them that, like, no, please do not do this to me.
Yeah, a gaseous being's worst nightmare.
Is to become a solid.
But yeah, so I guess they know they're walking into a trap now. Karma tells them that. And that some of the Imperial Guard are in on it. Deathbird's mad. Smasher is also mad.
Yes, they both want to murder somebody for this.
Yeah.
So, but we are on the fast track because one cycle later again, we are back in the throne room as it is being announced that everyone arrives with Deathbird. And immediately, Deathbird goes to attack the traitor, who is Oracle, only for Super Guardian Gladiator to get really, really mad about it and essentially start a fight.
Yeah, so, also just, this is a fun little sequence here. Deathbird throws a spear at Oracle, Gladiator catches it, throws it back at Deathbird, Sunspot catches it, and breaks it while giving a cool speech and looking all cool, and then Deathbird's like, yeah, that was my spear.
Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah, no, right after I caught it and did that, I realized it was the wrong one, but hey, you know what? Fight happening. Can't talk about it.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're going into a fight, and then we get a data page.
Mm-hmm. Simply titled Fight.
Yeah. Sergio, do you want Guardians or Mutants?
I'm gonna go with Guardians.
You're gonna take Guardians, so
yes.
Chris, you're gonna have Mutants, okay?
Ooh, okay, I can take Mutants.
Okay. So, how this works for round one, we get a group here. The Guardians will have a selection from Manta, Earthquake, Quasar, Starbolt, Flashfire, and Hussar. Mutants will have a selection of Mirage, Smasher, Mondo, Chamber, Wolfsbane, and Karma. We will roll one die each to choose a combatant from a side, one mutant and one guardsman, and then we're going to roll for damage for each character, 1d6 or 2d6. Whoever rolls the highest number wins, and the lower number is eliminated. Both numbers are the same, both characters are eliminated. Play until one team is eliminated. So, we got a nice little dice bot in here.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's roll some dice. I guess let's have the mutants go first.
All right. I'm going to have my boy Mondo go.
I think you have to roll a dice to decide that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on.
So I guess it's roll 1d6.
Yeah, it should.
Yeah.
6. Karma.
6. Karma. Okay.
All
All right. Sergio?
Alright, my garden is going to be also a 6.
Also a 6. We got Hussar.
Hussar. Uh-huh.
All right. Let's go. Let's fight.
Alright. Here we go.
All right. So
Ooh,
that's
I got a 6.
Ooh, that's a 6. It's a hard one. You gotta either tie it.
These are all rolling a 6. I don't think this is working correctly.
Is our bot? Is the bot not working?
Yeah. Hold on. Try it.
That's very funny.
Okay,
I
there
got
we
a
go.
1.
Okay.
I got
Okay.
a 1 there.
We'll not count that, and we're just gonna say we got some insane odds, and Hussar and Karma have both fallen.
Yeah, they're both eliminated.
Yeah, they're done. All right, let's roll again.
Poor...
All right, so we got
All right, that's Chamber.
we got a-
You know, the poor guy just doesn't want to fight, but he's gonna have to.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna have to have a reroll from Sergio here.
Actually, maybe we can use the 1 that I rolled as a test.
Yeah, sure, why not? So we'll bring out
That
Manta
would be
for this
Manta.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
All right. Ooh,
That's a 1
And
a
that 3,
3.
poor Chamber.
That's
Three.
a win for Manta.
Chamber's done. Okay, it's another reroll from Chris.
Alright, let's see.
There we go, that's a 5.
I'm gonna have to
Wolfsbane.
reroll. And Quasar.
Quasar. Okay.
Let's see.
So.
Right, Wolfsbane coming in with a 2, but hey, that's all I needed.
Ooh,
yeah,
yep.
that's all they needed.
Wolfsbane knocks out Quasar. All right, so we got Mirage, Smasher, Mondo, and Wolfsbane on the mutant side, and Manta, Earthquake, Starbolt, and Flashfire on the Guardian side.
Alright. I've got Earthquake.
All right, Earthquake and
You know, I'm gonna keep with Wolfsbane. How about that? Or do we have to go
Yeah,
individually?
let's stick to the 1.
all right, yeah, we'll just do that. Okay,
Yeah, just house rule it a little.
yeah. All right, so that's a 4
Things
and
not
a
looking
2.
good for the Guardians now.
Yeah, that's Earthquake is eliminated there.
Wolfsbane coming in strong.
Who do I even have left? Is it Manta, Starbolt, and Flashfire?
Yeah, I think that 3 you have to re-roll on. So you have
I'm
to get
gonna
a 1.
round it up to Starbolt.
Yeah, we'll just say Starbolt on that one. Yeah. Okay. Ooh.
All right, that's a
Wolfsbane?
tie.
Ooh, that's 2 ones.
Wolfsbane can only
Okay.
go so far.
Wolfsbane takes out Starbolt, so I think it's still 3 on 2 here.
Is it Earthquake and Flashfire?
Yeah, I think you just got Or no, Manta and Flashfire is who you got.
I only have my top 3.
Oh, okay.
So that's Mondo.
Yeah, Mondo and Flashfire.
All right, let's see.
Poor Mondo.
All right, that's a 6.
That's a
Yeah,
6.
no.
Yup. Okay. Yep. Things. All right, we're tied up now.
Yep.
Just,
Mondo got a poor 1, which that works for Mondo. Sorry, buddy.
yeah.
All right, I'm gonna stick with Flashfire so I don't have to re-roll this a bunch.
Okay.
Okay.
That is a 3, so I'm gonna go down to Smasher.
Yep, that's fair.
Okay. Ooh, I got a 2.
Yeah, I got a 6.
Yeah, that's a
6. Okay. So yeah, I think you just got Manta left, so we'll just go for
All right.
that.
Yeah.
All right. So roll again.
Okay, a 4.
4.
That's not bad.
Yeah, that's doable.
That's
oh,
Can't
not
beat
enough.
a 6.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Alright.
So that's the Guardians eliminated there. The eliminated team is then allowed to introduce their final 3 players on the initial roll. So we'll just do a breakdown there. Play until one team is again eliminated. If the winning team lost the first round, the losing team could use their final 3 players. Then again, play until one team is eliminated. So 2d6. So do you get to roll 2d6 for damage
Yes.
here? Oh,
Uh-huh.
that's kind of nuts. Okay, so go ahead and roll for who your guardian is here, Sergio.
All right.
Yeah, because I still
Then I
have.
should be rolling a 1d3.
Yes. Yeah, because I still have Mirage and
That's
Smasher.
Mentor. Yeah,
Yeah, so that's Mentor first.
that's Mentor. So Mentor's gonna deal 4 damage.
Okay, well,
Yeah, not.
I got Smasher.
It was enough. Yeah.
So let's
like-
see what Smasher
all right.
does. That's a 2. Sorry, Smasher.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so
Okay.
Mirage.
So now it's just Mirage versus 2d6 Mentor here.
I have faith in Mirage. Maybe, no.
That-
No, I don't. That's a 2.
No.
All right. So I think you get to bring in your final 3 here.
Yep, I get
Uh,
Cannonball, Sunspot, and Magic. Which I feel gives me, the upper hand.
Yeah. 3. So yep, that's a sunspot there. All right, let's go for it. 2d6. Ooh, a set.
Ooh, double 7s.
All right.
Yeah, Mentor and Sunspot knock each other out there. It's just a battle between Cannonball and Magic versus Oracle and Gladiator.
I'm gonna re-roll
All
that
right.
one, actually.
All right. Oracle time.
Okay, I have.
Oracle and Cannonball.
Uh huh.
All right.
Oh god,
Man.
that's a 4. I have not gotten anything above a 6.
So
That's a 10.
Cannonball knocks down Oracle here. So
Yeah. So I've got only Gladiator left.
yeah,
Alright.
I believe in Gladiator. He's gonna sweep
All
this.
right, I'm gonna stick with Cannonball.
Oh no.
Oh no!
Oh,
Cannonball has lost.
Cannonball has been defeated. Or down to the final 2. It's just Gladiator versus Magic for all the marbles.
You know, that actually kind of thematically works.
Sure.
Yep.
We'll go with it.
Yeah.
That's a 3. How is that a 3? Oh, and I got beaten by a 4.
my
That's
God,
brutal.
And a 4. Okay. Anyway, it's very important that you.
Oh, right, I forgot.
Phil.
Deathbird. That means I win.
That was weak.
You want me to
need do it again.
yell Deathbird?
Yeah.
Hang on. Deathbird.
We'll
Great.
take it.
Okay.
I backed
That's
away a
good.
little bit. I didn't want to, blow out the recording.
I'll have to put a warning there.
This is true.
Yeah. Yep. So that's our fight scene. They put a little game in here.
Instead of 17 pages of fighting, as they say, we had a nice dice game. And the mutants won.
Yeah.
It's canon.
Yeah.
Man.
I cannot say no to that.
Yeah. Sergio, you had some rough rolls there.
You know, I'm glad I spent these bad rolls here today instead of on my next D&D session. So, works out.
That's very fair. On the 2d6s, audience, just so you know, these 2d6 rolls, Sergio never rolled above a 6.
It was.
No, I got a 5 and a 1. That was my,
Yeah,
my highest my highest roll.
Yeah, that was rough. The luck was not on the Guardian side.
No. All right, so let's go back to the issue.
Back into the issue. After the mutants have their cannon victory, Xandra yells for the fighting to stop, and Deathbird finally has a moment to explain that Oracle was the traitor and actually tried to get them all killed.
Yeah, so Oracle's like, I don't really want to serve this child. We're supposed to be leaders here. Xanda orders her to be her advisor along with Deathbird. Oracle says this will be a shame, but takes this decently well.
Mm-hmm. A fate worse than death, you could say.
Yeah. Chamber and Mondo want to leave.
Yes. These poor guys were just like, hey, fun space adventure. Oh no.
Yeah. So yeah, we go to a party at Sam and Izzy's place where a lot of other mutants have shown up. Beast is here, Magneto's here, Cyclops is having a drink with Gladiator.
Mm-hmm. I see Storm in the background, It's
Nature Girl is here. I think that might be iBoy.
Ooh, I think you're right. Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
That's gonna be nothing to you, Sergio, but like, you will meet iBoy at some point. He's a wonderful character.
I feel like I can get excited behind iBoy on the name alone.
Mm-hmm. It's a great name. But yeah, so they got a gate there, just in the middle of Sam's house.
Mm-hmm. And, he can visit Krakoa anytime he wants. People can come visit him because he thinks he's gonna stay here, with his wife. Which, Sunspot doesn't take well at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a surprisingly diplomatic, expansionist, colonialist empire to just allow this portal in the middle of this one house.
They're just kind of cool with it.
Yeah, I think it helps that the supreme ruler of all of this whole empire is related to one of the rulers of Krakoa. Probably helps smooth relations.
Yeah,
That's fair.
Yeah, them coming off the heels of making it so they didn't have a political crisis is probably doing them some favors as well.
Yeah, but unfortunately not doing any favors for Sunspot. Because this whole plan to go to space was to get the band back together. Not the New Mutants, but him and his friend.
Yeah. Him and Sam. We don't need the New Mutants. He just wants his buddy back. Anyway, Cannonball just says, hey, man, you can just, live here.
Mm-hmm. And Sunspot has that moment of, you know what, maybe that's not actually that bad. I'll consider it.
Yeah, Gladiator says they're in their debt, and Cyclops is like, hey, can we get a portal to that really nice-looking island? I would like to visit it with Wolverine.
Mm-hmm. and everybody can now flirt on that nice island.
Xanda introduces herself to Wolfsbane. She shows her that she can turn into a wolf. In a pretty funny thing, Xanda turns into a ball of light. Wolfsbane again licks it and is bored and leaves.
Yes. I like to believe that this joke was written first, and then Hickman went back and re-added her into the scene with the ball of death gas.
Yeah, just not super into balls,
I guess. So, but Xandra's gonna have some really good advice because she's not sure what this means. Oracle says that, Wolfsbane meant it. Deathbird is pretty sure Wolfsbane was being sarcastic.
Yeah. And we end off this issue with just a nice little conversation between Sunspot and Cannonball. Cannonball says he can't live there. Sunspot says he bought the building.
Mm-hmm. Just, little things of the very rich.
Yeah. And,
So, but it was not for friendship that he did this. He bought the apartment complex because it was the closest one to the capital, because Sunspot is still deeply and madly in love with Deathbird.
Yeah. And they decide they're going to have some more space adventures together. And that is the end of the Hickman arc of New Mutants.
Mm-hmm. Just, a nice little space adventure with, I believe, the vast majority of this crew here are the original New Mutants. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, this is most of them. There is, again, like one missing. Magma's not here, but for the most part, this is that whole team.
Yeah. So it just kind of feels like Hickman had this proposal for the entirety of the reboot of the X-Men line and was like, hey, can I just have some fun over here with like the New Mutants and just let them hang out and do stuff? You know, you can give me like 3 or 4 issues and then I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he didn't have to ask, but yeah, it does feel like he just wanted to do his goofy little space adventure over in this corner for a little bit. Just hand that over to someone else.
Mm-hmm. Which, hey, you know what? I respect it. It was fun. I had a fun time with it.
Yeah, I really can't complain too much about it. It's a fun issue.
You know,
I
am kind of glad it didn't drag on too long. I do think if we had had that in-between issue of them getting out of the Death Commando's clutches, it would have been possibly a bit too long since we know how that's all going to end. So I appreciate it just being a joke in this issue.
Yeah, we didn't need to spend time on that. I feel like we kind of got from the first issue that this wasn't really a conflict that was to be taken all that seriously.
Yeah. It was never the focus of the story.
Right. What did you think about this little arc, Sergio?
It was alright. I may not be the biggest fan of Sunspot, but it's really well written. It's really charming. It's really funny. I almost feel like these 4 issues that correspond to Hickman's writing in New Mutants could be like recommended as a standalone to someone, and they would probably enjoy it. It's just, very, very friendly and fun.
Yeah, the vibes are good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, but I believe that's going to be wrapping up our 3 issues here.
Yeah,
it does indeed.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else.
Yeah, so for next time, as we talked about earlier in this episode, which this one is running a little bit long, so sorry about that. But for the next episode that we have, it's going to be very different than what we've been doing. The next episode, we are reading Excalibur's number 7 and 8, and we are also going to be reading the entirety of Wolverine number 1. Just to clarify on that, Wolverine is a little odd in that it is 2 stories told in kind of different parts of the timeline. But instead of breaking it up and adding more confusion to it, we're just going to read the entirety of it the next episode.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense.
I think it does too.
Mm-hmm. And if you are looking for the reading order going forward, I have put something up on our social medias. Currently, we are on Twitter and on Tumblr at Study of X. I'm going to look into possibly making more social media accounts on other places because there's been a lot of Twitter alternatives that have popped up. But I'm going to look into it, and I'll post that on social media, and I will mention it here as well the next episode. And other than that, if you have any comments or questions or anything like that, just go ahead and send it to us at studyofx@gmail.com, and we might read it here on the show. If you have listened this far, thank you again. If you can leave us a review on your favorite podcasting app of choice, that would be great. It helps us get out there and find more people to join in us reading through the X-Men here. And if you are looking for me on any social media, I'm not very active there anymore, but if you need to get in contact with me, Twitter is the best place to do it, and you can find me at Sawneeks, that is SAWNEEKS. And Sergio, where can they find you?
People can reach me at Fireblend, FIREBLEND on Twitter or co-host. And they can also find the other podcast that I do, which is Stray Reads, a book club podcast. We're very close to recording our next episode.
Yeah, highly recommend that podcast as well. It's a really, really fun listen. And Tim, if they were looking to have you sign up in the Crucible and have you be the ritualistic killer, where can they find you?
Oh yeah, that's pretty easy actually. I'm in a pressurized ball. Gas.
Are you also named after a popular video game company?
Yes.
Got it. And listeners, that's up for you to decide which one.
also up to you to decide how boring that is.
Also that as well. All right, well, I think that ends it for us here. Until next time, later, mutants.
Bye.